All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er news. 49ers making some news over the weekend here as they have re-signed their long snapper, Taybor Pepper, who's a good dude, by the way. I did an interview with him this year in the locker room, and just a really good guy, number 46. He gets a 3-year contract extension to stay with the 49ers. And good for Taybor Pepper. Good dude, as I said, good player, really solid long snapper. He gets 1.5 million guaranteed at the signing. So, I couldn't be happier for this guy. He posted to his Twitter and his Instagram that Niners re-signed him to a 3-year contract extension. So good for him. And, it's definitely an upgrade. His previous contract, he was guaranteed $220,000. So now he gets 1.5 million guaranteed. So obviously a good day for Taybor Pepper. Popular guy on social media. We asked him, we said, who on the 49ers has the best or the biggest Twitter profile? And he's like, me, without a doubt, me. So Tabor's a good dude. And he is popular on social media. He's got a great sense of humor. And he's a really solid long snapper. He joined the 49ers midway through the COVID season of 2020. This past year, he finished second. Finished the second year of his 2-year deal. And here's a guy that's been around, and he's entering his 6th NFL season. It's interesting. It's like I talked to him about growing up, and he said his dad was a coach, and that his dad coached it was either high school or college football, and he knew that he wanted to, or his dad played college football, I think it was, and he knew in high school that he wanted to play college football, and then he got halfway through high school and he realized, well, he wasn't all that great at football, and so he started long snapping, and he taught himself to long snap, and it's a cool story, and he's made the most of his opportunities. Now he's made a professional career for himself, and it wasn't until Kyle Nelson had some botched snaps to the point where, Kyle Shanahan basically made the switch at long snapper. And we have not heard a complaint about long snapping from the 49ers ever since. So, it's like being a great long snapper is like being a great umpire or being a great cornerback. If you're doing a good job, we're not hearing about you. If you're doing a bad job, we're hearing a lot about you. So now the only question is, are we going to see Taybor Pepper long snapping to Robbie Gold in 2023? And will the 49ers go franchise tag Robbie Gold? That's one of the big questions of the offseason. Are the Niners going to retain their veteran kicker? But great move by the 49ers to re-sign Taybor, because the one thing you want, if you can have it, in the kicking game, the snapping game, the punting game, is continuity, right? Taybor knows Robbie. Robbie knows Taybor. Taybor knows Mitch Wishnowsky. He knows Taybor. They know each other's tendencies. And believe it or not, from talking to Taybor earlier this year, there are legitimate tendencies and there are things that they talk about and kind of switch up. So I think it's a good move for the 49ers. Played college ball at Michigan State, and, he was their long snapper all 4 years there, 2012 through 2016, played 54 collegiate games. 2015, Phil Steele, our good friend who covers college football, named Pepper to the preseason second team All-America squad. So Green Bay took him. He went undrafted in the 2016 draft, and then Pepper signed. He wasn't signed by a team during that 2016 season at all, but January of 2017, he signed a reserve future contract with Green Bay. And then he signed with the Baltimore Ravens of August of 2017, and then was waived 4 days later. And then on September of 2017, he re-signed with the Packers, replacing Brett Good. And then in November, he was placed on IR with a broken foot that he hurt in practice. Then he went to the New York Giants, signed a reserve future contract with the Giants in January of 2019. He was with them that year. He was waived in August of 2019. Went to the Dolphins, signed with them in September of 2019, was waived in April of 2020. So, you're getting the picture of, how it's a difficult road to establish yourself in the NFL, especially as a long snapper. So the Niners signed him originally September 30th of 2020, and they placed him on the COVID list, the reserve list, on December 28th, and activated him on February 2nd, and then February 4th of 2021, he signed a 2-year contract extension with the 49ers, and he's been really, really solid. So 55 game NFL career. I asked him about the tackles he remembers making. He's made 2 tackles in his career. I mean, that's not bad, really, if you think about it. You were playing in the NFL since 2017. It's now 2023, and you've drawn a paycheck, and you've only had to make 2 tackles. So I'm happy for this guy. He's an Illinois kid, born in Urbana, Illinois. And he's like, if you wonder like how big do you got to be a long snapper in the NFL, typically you got to be about the size of a tight end, 6'4, 230, 6'3, 245, somewhere in that range. And that's where he's at. He's at 6'4 and 245 pounds. But good addition for the 49ers. Really, really solid football player. Great guy who fits in the locker room. All the things that you want. So for the 49ers, this is, they're starting to put their team back together. I would love to see them retain a little continuity on special teams because, Brian Schneider came in last year and I thought did a really nice job. They brought in George Odom. They brought in Ray McLeod. The Niners made, an impact, or I should say, an investment, if you will, in their special teams, and it really made an improvement. Now, ultimately, they got to the exact same spot this last year as they did the year before. But if you look at where they are special team wise, Mitch Wishnowsky, solid punter. Um, I don't know that he was worth the pick that they made in him when they drafted him in the 4th round in 2019. But, you've got that spot taken care of. If you can re-sign Robbie Gold, now you've got a veteran kicker. The question for the Niners is, do you franchise Robbie Gold? They may not. He made 4.8 million. I think to franchise him would cost the team like 5.4 million. So, Robbie Gold, does he stay? Does he leave? Robbie's from Chicago. He may want to, or not from Chicago, but he's been living in Chicago for a lot of years. So, maybe he's got 3 boys. Maybe he wants to go back to Chicago. Unless he was just dead set on leaving, I would consider franchise tagging Robbie Gold. But if you have Mitch and you have Robbie and you have Taybor, you're more than halfway there. Now, Ray McLeod has been a good punt returner. He's been a good kick returner. Brandon Ayuk has helped out on the punt returns as well. Debo can do it in a pinch, and he might be the Niners' best punt returner, really. But he's so valuable from scrimmage they don't use him. And then kick return wise, you got Danny Gray, and Danny Gray is a 4.25 speedster with home run ability. So, if you look at where the 49ers are, to me, I know this doesn't get a lot of attention because it's special teams, but if you can maintain that continuity and you have good players, I think that's a huge advantage. So I would love to see Robbie back. It's great to see Taybor back. And that can continue to be a strength for the 49ers. I thought this last year was, just talking to Robbie, talking to Taybor, talking to, not to mention, we didn't even mention, but George Odom, Oren Burks, these guys have been tremendous. I mean, the 49ers, I think George Odom led the NFL this year in special teams tackles, and Burks was right there. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles is another guy who made an impact on special teams. So 2 years ago, the Niners were among the worst special team units in the entire league. And they obviously wanted to improve that. So they've done that. They did that last year, bringing in Schneider, investing in free agency, a couple different spots on special teams, and it worked out. Odom was great. Ray McLeod was fantastic. He had the one fumble against Dallas, but other than that, Ray was really, really good all year, and their specialists are really solid. Robbie's good. Mitch is solid. and Taybor. I mean, think about it. There have not been a lot of botched long snaps in the last few years. So I think it's a good move. It's the beginning of the offseason for the 49ers as they put together their special team unit. And in reality, you know, special teams is a third of the game. If you don't believe it is, just have a really bad special team unit and see how that goes for you. So I think overall, a very, very positive start to the Niner transactions of this offseason, the re-signing of Taybor Pepper. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you watch the Pig in a Pickle Krug show on a regular basis for more Niner videos, draft videos, football videos, baseball, basketball. We're talking a lot of Bay Area sports. So hope you enjoyed it, and tune in to the Pig in a Pickle Krug show all the time, your place for Niner news.